Now, why don't you just sit down here with me, right here, on my bench in beautiful Cypress Corners, Florida. Yes, Cypress, where hot men grow like Spanish moss on live oak trees, where no one thinks a little old lady sipping sweet tea in the middle of town would have any idea of the goings-on between these drop-dead gorgeous young people. But they would be dead wrong. Oh yes, they most certainly would. Now let me see. The first to fall prey to love's wicked spell was old stick-up-his-backside Rick Chapman. That man was a goner from the first time he laid eyes on that pretty little plant girl, Harmony Brooks. At first I thought those two were going to let a squabble over a little old weed thwart their chance for happiness. But out there at her tent cabin on the lake, well, what grew between them was something a whole lot hotter. And next to fall was his brother. Hotter than the hinges of hell, Jake Chapman is. Well, that boy certainly did need to be tamed, didn't he? My goodness, I wish I had been privy to a bit more of his wild side. But a lady can imagine. Claire was just the gal to settle him down. Or did he rile her up? Now that Cassie Chapman, she was a handful, even for her big tough daddy up in Boston. Thank goodness she found herself a wildlife expert, Ty Walsh. Now that man can tame my tiger any day of the week. Of course, when the fourth Chapman, Ben, arrived on the scene, we were all flabbergasted. Who would have guessed we'd have the pleasure of feasting our eyes on yet another fish pulled from that gene pool? But I dare say no one was more shocked than Cypress's hottest saleswoman, Tammy Donato. I think that cool cucumber even broke a sweat once or twice. It took every bit of her considerable skills to win that man. And then there's funny little Jessie. That pixie blushed red as a tomato every time she laid eyes on one of these fine Cypress gentlemen. Why, she could barely speak. I thought I was going to have to take that girl under my wing and show her a thing or two, until that builder, Noah, and that sweet little boy of his found a way to get her out of her shell. I was starting to think that all the hot young things down here were married and settled and set. But then Eli came to town, and Caro, the pretty little baker over at Sweet Escape, has been dreaming about him ever since. I can't wait to see what they cook up between them. My lands, you see what I mean? Now why don't you just come on down here to Cypress? You never know what kind of adventure you'll find. There's room for everyone on my bench, especially if you happen to be tall, dark, and gorgeous. Don't you worry, you'll be welcome. Just tell them that Lettie Fairfax sent you.